Hi, I am Daisy Gardner. I am with Rainbow Families Action, parents of LGBTQ children. We are so happy to be here with you today. Earlier this morning, you might have seen an interesting press conference where both gubernatorial candidates for the GOP gave statements. Someone using the Anti-Trans Protect Girls Sports campaign, who's using that to run for state superintendent of education, spoke. And then what was very interesting is that the statements by Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, both running for governor, were read by a representative of an SPLC designated hate group called the California Family Council, which is it's the state affiliate of the Family Research Council, which takes in about $1 million a year at the state level and $50 million a year at the national level. They are the groups behind things like overturning gay marriage. Family Research Council has given money towards lobbyists to help pass a law in Africa that would give the death penalty to homosexuals. So it is fair to say these are some very extreme groups, and they are using it for a political campaign. At the heart of this, we are so proud and happy to support the actual families who have been affected by the Protect Girls Sports anti-trans campaign, and that would be the athletes and the families of the kids who have been targeted and named in the DOJ lawsuits. And first up, from San Luis Obispo, we have Trevor Norcross, who is here. To speak.
Hello. Like was said, I'm Trevor Norcross, and I'm representing the Gala Pride and Diversity Center and Central Coast Coalition for Inclusive Schools, and most importantly, I'm the parent of a high school trans athlete that is an unnamed participant in the DOJ lawsuit. It's unfortunate that the anti-trans agitators are here at the CIF meet to single out a single athlete. If you listen to them, it's clear that they really don't care about sports and fairness or locker rooms. They are here on a mission to eradicate transgender people. If you deny the existence of transgender people, your issue has nothing to do with sports. But this isn't the time or the place for this conversation. We are here to celebrate all the amazing athletes competing here, no matter how they identify. But I do have a message and a request. Governor Newsom, I appreciate that you have denounced the protest earlier this morning from the anti-trans group here. But for far too long, this debate has occurred without the voices of the actual trans athletes or their families. I'm here today to ask for a meeting with you and have a respectful conversation. This should not be the culture war the other side has made it. It should not be taking up space in an election cycle with so many other important issues to address. Unfortunately, it is. And the people that this has impacted the most have not been included in the conversation. Can you imagine having political leaders, political operatives, and influencers that have no lived experience to truly understand what they're debating, talking about your existence without you in the room? We're asking you to give us a seat at the table. You have said that you have talked to families on the other side of the issue. We are here asking for the same respect. Let's find time and make this happen. Thank you. Now I'll pass it off to Nena.
Hello everyone, this is Nerena Hernandez, AB Hernandez's mom. Last May,
let us know in the comments if you can't hear us, please.
Last May, at this same meet, the Save Girls Sports, a group of individuals targeted my daughter while she was trying to compete. My daughter is a minor. For over an hour, they repeatedly misgendered her, shouted degrading remarks, and made inappropriate comments about her. No child should ever be subjected to that kind of treatment, especially at a school sporting event. As I attempted to support and watch my daughter compete, I was shouted at by Sonia Shaw, calling me a coward, amongst other things. Many of the individuals engaging in this behavior did not have children participating in this event. This same group, including Sonia Shaw, Jessica Tapia, Sophia Lori, Maria Carrillo, Jose Carrillo, were publicly outing my daughter as a transgender to students, parents, and spectators who may not have otherwise known. Publicly identifying and targeting a minor child in this manner created an environment of fear, humiliation, and emotional distress, not only for my daughter, but for those around her as well. This behavior did not only affect my daughter, it affected her teammates, peers, and other students who were present and forced to witness adults aggressively targeting a child. Students who came to compete, support their teams, and enjoy their school event instead experienced hostility, intimidation, and emotional distress created by adults who chose to turn a youth sporting event into a public spectacle. What is especially concerning is that when these individuals post online, they often portray themselves as simply concerned parents and even pretend to be parents. However, this is the organized group of activists and individuals who for years have repeatedly targeted transgender student athletes through public harassment campaigns, online attacks, misgendering, intimidation, and efforts to publicly shame children. Their conduct demonstrates a pattern of behavior that goes far beyond expressing an opinion or advocating for policy changes. This went far beyond peaceful protest or protected free speech. What occurred was intimidation, harassment, and the deliberate targeting of a minor child in a public setting. Their conduct disrupted our peace, interfered with my daughter's ability to safely participate in school athletics, and caused significant emotional distress to our entire family and those around here. The impact was so severe that I was forced to take a leave of absence from work because my focus had to shift toward protecting my daughter's safety and emotional well-being. No parent should have to choose between their livelihood and protecting their child from public harassment. We believe in respectful dialogue and differing opinions, but there is a clear line between expressing beliefs and engaging in targeted harassment against a child. That line has been crossed and it needs to stop.
My name is Abigail, and I'm one of the 5 unnamed athletes in the DOJ lawsuit. For the last 18 months, people have said a lot of things about me. I've been called a cheat, a man in girls' sports, but also a rising star and a role model, and so much more. Because 18 months ago, my life was turned upside down. I have been running almost my entire life. I ran my first 5K race when I was just 5 years old, and since then I've been a part of countless teams and clubs, both in school and out. Running has always been a passion of mine. I was just a kid who liked to run, no questions asked, no controversies. So you can imagine the surprise when one day I heard a parent boo me during my race. Or as I run past some of my teammates, all I hear is silence, only to hear them cheer for others behind me. You can imagine my surprise when after 12 years of competitively running, suddenly 1 in 8 students at my school, over 400 total, were protesting against me on a weekly basis. When I am having students throw insults and slurs at me in the halls, or even occasionally punches. When on social media, people say the most horrible things about me, from insults to threats and more. That is what people like Sophia Lori, Leticia Castillo, Sonia Shaw, and so many more cause. They claim that they do this out of love. Well, at least some of them do. Yet their actions and rhetoric directly incite hate speech and violence against people like me. The misinformation and lies spread by a very small number of families, such as the Stallings, McPhersons, and Van Helweg's families, only leads to hateful bullying campaigns that are broadcast on national television. They claim to fear being in the presence of a trans person, whereas we have to fear high-profile politicians, up to and including the President of the United States, targeting us and attacking us. We have to worry about bigots breaking into our house to do us harm, or federal agents or cops arresting us simply for running, well, or jumping. We have to worry about about being forcibly segregated in all aspects of life, and that Democrats, at least in sports, might not stop them. Some may call people like me a cheater, but all I am is a girl pursuing a lifelong passion of mine. Some may call me a star, but if all it takes to be a star is not rolling over in the face of hatred, or a willingness to call out complicity in it, then I am just one of many, as is every person standing here with me today, and many of you watching this. I have just one final message. To everyone I previously mentioned, stop the hate, stop the lies, just go home. The only reason you are even here at this meet today is to heckle AB, not to support girls. To CIF, repeal your discriminatory, pseudo-segregatory pilot policy. No one likes it, whether on the right or the left. To Sacramento Democrats, grow a spine. If you want to call yourself an ally, you cannot turn a blind eye at the rampant hate and discrimination facing trans athletes. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Fish. I'm a transhuman, a lifelong athlete, and a lover of humanity. For the last decade, I've worked as a storyteller, a community builder, and an activist using the power of sport to connect and heal communities. I've had a soccer ball at my feet as long as I can remember, and sport has always been my lifeline. When I was 13, my dad passed away after a 6-year battle of cancer. His name was Carmen, and he was my person. And after he died, I was lost. Grieving, angry, searching for love and belonging in all of the wrong places. My older brother went down that same road, and we lost him to drugs 2 years ago. I ask myself this every day, why him and not me? And the first thing that comes to my heart is sport. Not because of awards or stats, not because I played in college or played on the professional stage, but because of what sport gave me. It gave me teammates who became my family, coaches who saw me as a human being, and a safe place to try, to fail, to learn, to grow, and belong. It met me in my grief, and in a world facing a youth mental health crisis, that matters. Because sport is more than play, it's medicine. It's one of the few spaces left that teaches us how to connect, how to trust each other, how to move through struggle together, and how to feel a part of something bigger than ourselves. So when I hear the rhetoric around trans inclusion in sport, it is heartbreaking. Not just because of who it targets, but because I feel like we've lost sight of what sport is for and who sport is for. Because doesn't every young person deserve access to the same joy, healing, and belonging that I found when I needed it most? I know these conversations are complex. I know that people care deeply about fairness, safety, and the future of sport. And I believe we are capable of approaching those questions with curiosity instead of fear and humanity instead of division. Sport governance has never kept pace with human progress. But thankfully, the power of the people has been what drives us forward. And moments like this matter because they define what kind of culture we will build together off of the fields. My hope is that we choose one rooted in compassion, in dignity, and in belonging. A future where we stay curious and turn towards each other, when we keep listening, where we refuse to reduce human beings to headlines and fear. Because sport, at its best, teaches us something far greater than winning. It teaches us how to play together. And I hope that we protect that spirit for everyone. Thank you.
Anybody who knows me knows that I love me some data. So, there has been a concept in the conversation about trans rights in our media that suggests that the fight that we are in is two different grassroots groups coming from different sides on the same issue. I would argue that it is one grassroots group and one very well funded by dark money, far-right conservative conspiracy. Daisy earlier today talked about how the press conference that was held earlier this morning was held by California Family Council, and the woman who was the media-trained, friendly spokesperson for California Family Council and that press conference is Sophia Laurie. Now, we just passed her car in the parking lot. She's got a $150,000 G-Wagon, which is a really good symbol of the discrepancy between these organizations. Everybody here at this press conference whose faces you are seeing is either a trans person or a family member of a trans person in this group here, right? California Family Council was founded in 2003 as an offshoot of Focus on the Family, you know, the organization that has been fighting gay rights, fighting LGBTQ dignity in America in general. In 2003, when the California Family Council was founded, they were rolling in money. Most of what they were doing in California was trying to push back on gay marriage, trying to push back on LGBTQ curriculum being accessible in our schools. And for a while, that was popular. For a while, they got a lot of funding over that. But in the years after Obergefell, their funding took a nosedive. In 2020, California Family Council made a pivot from gay rights issues to trans rights issues. And in the years since then, the amount of money that they are bringing in has quadrupled. And this is dark money. Dark money as in the donors that they have that money is being funneled through sources that we can't tell who is giving them money. This is Astroturf. In 2016, North Carolina passed a bathroom ban bill. And that bill was so overwhelmingly unpopular that not only individuals, but organizations and businesses pulled out of North Carolina in protest of that bill, and it was overturned. In the years since then, we have gone from an America, even in North Carolina, even in the Deep South, that rejects attacks on trans people, to a world where in California right now there are over 300 elected officials in our state and local government that run on anti-trans attacks. And right now, in the current races that are being run, there are over 500 candidates for elected race. In 2016, there were between 200 and 400 articles in the American media across the country about trans kids. So far now, in this year, it's been over 25,000, and it's May. The other thing that has changed is that in 2016, the number of reported attempted suicides by LGBTQ kids was 1 in 10. Today, it's more than 1 in 5. So Sophia Lory and Sonia Shaw and Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton and all of these other mouthpieces for the anti-trans movement are trying to convince people that this is a grassroots movement. Sorry, my thumb got tired. They are trying to convince people that this is a grassroots movement, that people genuinely care about having trans kids in their schools. And they don't. Most of the people who were involved in this were not paying attention to girls' sports 2 years ago. The only thing that has exploded is the effort to push hatred and bigotry from a well-funded organization that has been around for much longer than this.
And you can tell the money going into this press conference versus their press conference with the Mercedes and the professionally produced signs. I believe these are all from Kinko's that we have. My name is Daisy Gardner. I am the parent of a CIF high school athlete. My cisgender, non-trans daughter competes in the same track and field events as AB Hernandez, high jump and long jump. She's good. She's very good. And no one at our house or on her team is worried about trans athletes. But I'll tell you what I am worried about. Last May, at this exact same event, I watched horrified as my friend Nana Hernandez, AB's mom, was cornered by an associate of the Proud Boys, an ex-gang member, this is a different guy, who has spoken about his involvement in a double murder at a movie theater, and Sonia Shaw, who is currently running for State Superintendent of Education. Those were the two flanking Sonia last year as they pushed Nana up against a fence. Nana was trying to watch her daughter compete, but the Protect Girls sports crew had other ideas. They heckled AB every time she tried to jump. They called it being on vocals. They made disgusting comments about her private parts. She is a child. She is a kid. They got in Nana's face. and they screamed that she was a coward and that her child should be taken away from her and that her kid was mentally ill. So who are they? Protect Girls Sports is an Astroturf slickly produced campaign designed to advance the political career of MAGA politicians and the hate groups that back them. It is co-led by Sonia Shaw, the Christie Gnome of Education. She presides over the Chino Valley School District, where she has praised ICE officers. She has posed with a neo-Nazi, and she has welcomed Proud Boys and J6ers to her meetings. Shaw has passed forced outing policies. In fact, she's one of the architects of them across, I think she said 17 districts today, which spurred thousands of calls to LGBTQ crisis hotlines. She has banned books and pride flags, and her board was sued for refusing to follow California state law. CVUSD has spent over $4 million on legal fees since Shaw was elected, and that in 2026 is $700,000 to date. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. It is lighting taxpayer money on fire, and that money is not going to classrooms or to protect any students at all. The other leader of Protect Girls Sports is the California Family Council, which is designated, as I said, an anti-LGBTQ hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They are the state affiliate of the Family Research Council, also a hate group, who just launched a nationwide campaign to overturn gay marriage and who gave money towards a law to make homosexuality a crime punishable by death in Africa. The death penalty for being gay, the Kill the Gays law. That's who's behind that. This year, the goals of Protect Girls Sports campaign seem to be, one, get certain politicians elected, mainly Steve Hilton, Chad Bianco, and Sonia Shaw, and two, to get LGBTQIA children and adults across California barred from being able to access public bathrooms and spaces. That is the goal of their press conference. To accomplish this, they have recruited conservative high school students to talk about how scary it is to share the bathroom with a trans person. But their message to the media is this is about fairness and protecting girls. So let's talk fairness. Last year, under CIF's pilot policy, trans athletes were not permitted to displace the cisgender athletes who placed after them. If they came in first, they shared that award with the runner-up. And guess what? Trans athletes are currently barred from competing in college. They are not taking anybody's scholarships. They can't. They are not allowed to play. Their chance to be on a team and experience the camaraderie and the thrill of sports ends in high school. Despite these cold hard facts, this hate coalition has continued to bully, stalk, and harass the tiny handful of trans students who play at the high school level in California. The DOJ has found 5 out of 5.9 million K-12 students in our state, proving that this was never about sports and fairness for the anti-LGBTQ hate group in the first place. The hate group and these politicians are putting these kids through hell for their own political gain. These are real children, and they pay the price for this bad faith operation. It is Mother's Day tomorrow. Let Narita Hernandez get one good night of sleep without having to worry if someone is going to kill her child. Thank you.